Right. Hello, family. Today we're going to talk about something that people have the misconception of understanding how DNA worked, especially on what is the ethnic group versus the percentage. A lot of people think that percentage equal the same as ethnic group, but actually those are two different ways of calculating how much closely related you are from those tribes or from those place and area. Uh, so, by example, a lot of people tend to have Cameroon, Congo, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, whatever, and they tend to decide that the one that is the most percentage equal the one that you are basically or that you're the most, which is really not that right. To debunk that, we will show that in the video more later. But right now, you gotta understand that those region that they assigned you has nothing to do with the percentage that they tell you. What they do is they test the people from those region and then they assign you those those percentage. But you know that African people is identify themselves as tribes, as ethnic groups. So by you having 40% Nigerian, you could have multiple breakdown in the same region from multiple tribal groups. This is why it's wrong for someone to decide that this is my highest percentage and so this is what I am. Okay, so we gonna go talk about 23andme, which is one of the best um, DNA tests that you can get in the market right now, in terms of ancestry and if you want to know who you are, and also opera group wise and stuff like this. This is it. This is one of the good, good thing. And 1 years ago they brought an update, right? The update was for the people from African descent of the Caribbean and the Americas or the diaspora. They will receive any of the 25 ethnic group that they updated, such as Congo, Fulani, Wolof, Igbo, Ashanti, so on, so on. And it ended up that I received these one, which is Fula and the Wolof people. Now they say 2.9 Senegambian and Guinea, and they show that it's highly likely match. They say you are connected to share ancestor to people from Western Africa. Many would identify as Wolof or Wolof. This means some of your ancestors may have lived in this area, and you may have relatives who still live here today. Okay, so I'm there to tell you that first of all, where we gonna see the where I'm gonna debunk everything. It will be more in the end of the video, but basically what it shows you and what I'm trying to show you is that a lot of people have misconception of the ethnic group percentage, which is in term of likely or maybe or highly likely, and the percentage itself of the region. Those are two different things. Those are not matching with each other. So I have a lot of people, by example, they see that I have 2.9 Senegambian and Guinea, and they automatically thinking that, that is too low to claim that ancestral is too low to claim that because the fact that they think that is go by percentage. But again, that's a misconception. It's a wrong misconception because, like I say, later in the video, I will show you the difference between the both. Okay, now I receive also the Congo Mambundu. Again, I really like the match. I'm not gonna go too much. You say the same thing in there too. that I'm connected with the people of Congo and Mombundu, and that I have an ancestor there today. So that is something that I find out right after having this update. So the update came to me very, very accurate, and I was surprised the stuff that I found from the update on other platform and DNA. Now, yeah, a lot of people think that those are false or it's all fake work, or you know what I'm saying, and it's all made up. But there is what they explain and how they progress to find those ethnic group and stuff in general. I'm gonna read it for you. For it's a one for many years, 23andMe has partnered with our community of research participants and other researchers to study genetic, language, and cultural group data from people in Africa and people with family from Africa. These efforts included the Global Genetic Project and Population Collaboration Program, first enable and major improvement in sub-Saharan African ancestry insight in 2018. Okay, two from 2019 to 2023, 20 the 23andMe team working with a scholar of African history and African American studies to develop and publish one of the most comprehensive investigation of the transatlantic slave trades ever conducted. Okay. Three, from this research, we identified 25 unique genetic group or reference individual in Africa. Four, using the information we previously collected on language, geographic location, and culture, we found that this genetic group corresponded with certain ethnic group and spoken language. Five, we go into five. We finally developed an algorithm to determine if customers with African ancestry have shared ancestry with this group. Now, thanks to to our collaborator and community of research participants, we are able to provide our customer with more meaningful information about the connection to people and place in Africa. With the addition of these new ethno-linguistic group, we now provide insight to over 200 regions in Africa. And as our database expand and analyze and improve, we will continue to provide new insight like this to better represent all of genetic diversity. So basically, what they explained is they took the time to study very much deeply the pattern of our history from the slave trade history. They also did test the people from those tribes in Africa, and they match it to our DNA, autosomal DNA, and that's what they did. Basically, in order to assign this, they had to time multiple time tested the tribe men, let's say Fulani, 10 times to your DNA, which is my DNA, and if it matching consecutively time after time, and they took another man again, did the same thing. If it kept going always positive, basically from those people in this tribe, then they assigned you this tribe. So is not in terms of percentage, it's beyond. It's tested place to place. They took your DNA, they took them DNA, which we call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Fulani people were tested, and they test them and see the resemblance of your autosomal DNA into your segment, and they assigned you. Okay, so that's how they done this, and they work very hard in order for this to happen. Now we going right where I needed to, you know, break down the difference between the genetic group and the percentage. It say there, understand the difference between your ancestry percentage and your genetic group, right? Some of your 23andMe result can tell you how much of your DNA comes from different part of the world. Those are your ancestry composition percentage, and they add up to 100%. To provide this result to you, we divide your chromosome into short pieces, like boxcars on train. These pieces are short enough that it's generally fair to assume that the DNA they contain come from the same ancestral population. And for each of those pieces, we compare your DNA to DNA of people with ancestry we already know. These people comprise our reference population. When we find the most closely matching reference population for one of your DNA bus card, we assign it that particular ancestry. These results are then tied up and summarized to you as percentage and your ancestry composition report. 55% indigenous American, 2% Japanese, and so on. So this is what percentage do. They don't test the people itself, they test the region, and then they test the reference that they have from those regions. The people that are already tested, and they test them, and they match you with percentage, how much percentage they think is valid for you to receive for such and such and such. Uh, that's why multiply code different DNA that work with percentage, okay, will give you different region because it depends of the database. Okay, everything is in database. That's why it's wrong to assume that because you see 2% in there, or that because you see 100% in there, or 50% in there, that you are from this particular place. You know what I'm saying? And instead of if you go from the tribe itself, especially I'm talking when I'm saying that I'm talking about black people in general, because the European they don't have that problem, but us due to Atlantic slave trade, we don't know who we are. So in Africa work with tribes, so and then the groups. So this is why you should never assume based on percentage that this and this and this and that, right? So now we go to genetic group assessment, and this is where it's very important and understand where my case come when I talk about the ethnic group that they give me, the tribe that they give me, such as Fulani, which is highly likely match for my case. It explain you that it say you may notice additional results that don't have percentage associated with them. That's for a reason, okay? These are your genetic group. If you assign a match to a genetic group, it means you're likely share recent ancestor with people in that group. So I share recent ancestor in the group. Even though you saw that 2.3%, it don't mean nothing. That means I do share ancestry with that group. Okay? With people in a group. An assignment to a genetic group could reflect your connection to a recent ancestor or ancestor from a country. Some genetic groups are based on geography, or it could mean that you share a recent ancestor or ancestor with a group of people who belong to a particular ethnic group or speak a certain language. Some genetic groups are based on shared language or culture, which this is my case, basically. Remember, your genetic group are not assigned to you as percentage. So they make it clear that it has nothing to do with percentage. Instead, they are assigned a different confidence level on the number of individual from that group with who you share DNA as well as the total amount of DNA you share. You can have a highly likely match to a genetic group, a likely match, or a possible match. In my case, I had a highly likely match. That means I matched those people as 100%, basically. If we want to put that in terms of percentage, 100%. Okay? So, this is where I was going on. So we come back to the fact that people talk about how low you have when you got those percentage and stuff like this, but it don't mean that. When you got a handy group, watch if it's a possible, likely or highly likely. If it's possible, that's mean that you might connect to these people, you might have an ancestor there, and it's like that's where the 2% can be there. 2%, 10%. Now, when you talk about likely, likely mean you might have it, you might not have it, but you might more have it than you might not have it. That's what it means. So when you get that, it's between 30% to 50%. You know what I'm saying? And when you go from highly likely, that's mean they are sure 100% that you are having the ancestry, the ethnic group as ancestry. or as your ancestor. Okay. Now they show you again what we talking about. So you see, it say Nigerian 30.4%. It got nothing to do with the Igbo people under the 30.4%. Again, they show you the difference in there, and we ain't gonna be stuck in there. But yeah, okay. Now just to show, I'm gonna show my mother. This is my mother. She a Haitian. That's my father. He's Bahamian and Afro American, but he's more Afro American than Bahamian. Okay, so that's my grandmother on my mother's side. She Haitian. That's my grandfather on my mother's side. He is Haitian. And this, my grandfather on my father's side, he is Afro American and Bahamian. Okay, and my grandma, well, she white, so I don't need to show her. But this is to show that what they tell you, like what they was telling you about the highly likely match, you also gonna find cousins, a lot of cousins that's from those places, from the place that they told you, the tribe that they told you, and that will show you that you really is really accurate. So me, I got uh, this is my cousin from my father's side. He has a mother that's Fulani Wolof, I mean Fulani Mending, and a father that's Wolof. That's on my father's side. Okay, that is on my father's side again. He's Congolese, and he's from Kinshasa. So that's from my father's side. So that's from my mother's side. Mother's side is another Wolof. Okay, so you see, there is a Diallo, Fulani, Pearl, you know what I'm saying? And that's from my mother's side. And another Congolese, Katandi Beta, is from my mother's side. Okay, so I have it on both of my family side. I don't know if it's exactly which one. If it's just my grandma, is my grandmother, mother, or my. It don't really matter because at this point, I know that it's recent. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to really worry about which side it goes from at that far. I just know that I have cousins from those places and that they are from both sides of my family, right? But it's just to show y'all that it was very, very, very accurate because right after that I had this ending group as an update, which changed my life, I found different cousins and different DNA platform that give me the validity of this update and help me even find more information from myself and my family, right? So yeah, so this is it. This is very much what I was trying to explain, the importance of understanding the confidence level versus the percentage and ethnic group versus region, and understanding that the lowest you got from a region percentage would mean that this is whole ancestry. But the more likely you have from an ethnic group, the more recent this ancestry you have within your family, right? Um, so do not mix the two percentage and confidence level together with any group in the region. That's all it is. So very important. Hope you guys like the video. Share, enjoy, and much love.